I'm so glad to have you here. You have such style and wit and such quality words. It's just amazing. So to introduce others, I'm going to have this little piece here that I will read, and then we'll get you underway. So Sandra is a West Coast poet, teacher, and artist. Her poems have appeared in numerous journals and anthologies, including Rattle, The New Verse News, The MacGuffin, Spillway, and Light on the Walls of Life. For the Ferlinghetti Tribute Anthology also. She's won many awards for her poetry and haiku, which took second and third place in the San Francisco International Haiku Contest. That's a big yay. Her collections include Looking Glass Heart, Finishing Line Press 2016, Road Worrier, Finishing Line Press 2018, Xylem Highway, that's from Main Street Rag 2019, Finishing School, Kelsey Books 2023, and is it Rara Avis or Avis?
Avis.
Okay, Rara Avis, a full-length collection, also from Kelsey Books in 2024. She's been nominated for a Best Shorts Fictions Award, Best of the Net, a Pushcart Prize, and a 2023 George Garrett Award. And she's locally famed for the monthly series Rivertown Poets and hosts Zoom readings every other month, alternating with live readings at the Aquas Cafe in Petaluma. So, and she's also very heavily involved with California poets in the schools for the past 10 years, and she's a wondrous voice. So rather than let me meander on, I'm going to cease that and turn the mic to you, my wonderful friend.
Thank you so much, Dan, and everyone for being here. I love all the poems I've heard tonight. So powerful, and I feel so at home here. As you said, Nicole, this is a place where you can be real, and I really feel grounded and at home, and that's no small thing. Well, I'm going to read from my two newest books tonight, Finishing School, which was about 2 years ago, and then brand new on Rara Avis. But before I do, I wanted to start with a couple of haiku. I just received this. It is the San Francisco Haiku Anthology, and I'm excited to have three haiku in here. The first one, Conjugal Visit, where the creek meets the river. Sheltering in place, the din of silence. And the last one, in the silvered mirror of 70, I find myself. Now I'm going to start with the poems from the books, starting with Finishing School. All right. This first poem is called East Side Story. Hands on our hearts in the dark theater, a gaggle of 8th grade girls slouch in the schwitz bath of our collective awe. As Tony and Maria embrace on the balcony, we taste their forbidden love, sweet and tart as new strawberries. Huddled beneath the triangle scarves we sewed in home ec, we hold our breath through the kisses, grip forearms at the rumble, exhale through the dance numbers. I want to be in America bursts from my throat as I wash the dishes, sweep the house, or turn the soil. Bail bond shops border dress marts, blooming with quinceañera dresses, turquoise, yellow, and red. They bind my heart to the drama, like the rick-racked skirts of island dolls that whirl across the IMAX screen of memory. Are we the same girls who flirted with Ouija boards at seances on the bottom bunk at summer camp? The ones who danced with lead-tongued boys at socials in the rec hall? So little has changed since then. Everything has changed. Thank you. The next poem is called Continuation High. I'll give a light trigger warning, nothing direct, but it does refer to abuse and difficult things. The fourth graders are on the fence about poetry. They lack confidence, unlike the thirds, whose papers fill with unicorns and rainbows. The fifths, already bored, drape their arms along their desks like elders lost to barca-loungers. I pull rabbits from my hat, invite the goddess in as special guest, teach them onomatopoeia tag, a game I made up just before class. Some will write their hearts out before life betrays them and parts them from their tenderness. When I walk in, the high school kids are texting, feet on chairs. They're my hard-to-reach group of troubled teens, already sorted by the school-to-prison system that's paid to keep them down. I read them Jimmy Baca's poems. Their eyes roll up. Some snore. But wait, there's a minute shift in the weather of the classroom. A slightly straightened spine, an itchy pen begins to scuttle across a page. There's a sudden silence that descends. I ignore the jeers, the fucks and hellas that ricochet from vinyl walls. I know this school cares more about their souls than what they say. Throwaway kids, some already mothers rocking babies in the nursery down the hall. Kids with meth-head fathers, cocaine mamas. Abuse blinks like a marquee on the back wall. 10 minutes before the bell, I ask if anyone would like to share. The same girl always volunteers, pours her pain into the small container of the room, uncanny smile across her face. After a pause, others follow, just a few. In time, they learn to trust me, or at least to know I'm on their side. Many scribble, "Do not publish," across the page. I collect their papers, tuck them in my bag, and promise to return their poems next week. I sigh. It's another day in paradise. Moving along, thank you so much. Moving along to Rara Avis, all bird-themed poems. Big Blue. My in-laws dubbed him Big Blue, counted on his regularity like the morning paper's slap against the screen door. While Bob gutted bass in the outdoor sink, the heron glided in on silent wings and took up his post where the grass sloped down to kiss the slough. We'd unload the boat and hand up our measly string of fish. Blue watched with solemn eye, mind married to his motive. He wore a coat of cornflower with a hint of slate rubbed in for dignity, the most brilliant male I'd ever seen. Poised on one leg, head cocked for listening, awaiting the first of many trophies like a puppy after training. Bob would perform his Ginsu magic, a ritual of fins and entrails. Blue snatched each fish out of the air, a juggler who never missed a catch. Bob loved him like a prodigal son. Maybe it was his wildness or the keenness of purpose, the one he and the wife lost years ago to lazy boys and 5 o'clock vermouth. She grew up on a Kentucky dairy. A photo with a painted backdrop's all that's left. Brother's rifle laid across his knee, cradled like a lover. Mother with her Bible, the children splayed like poker hands along the peeling picket fence. I'd track the progress of a fish head as it slithered down Blue's 2-foot neck and disappeared into his belly, like my father's casket riding on hydraulics down to a watery grave. All right, next one is a love poem. It's called Forget Me Not. At 8 a.m., I cruise the slumbering neighborhood, silent under its green comforter. At the fence line, I spy the turkey clan, 13 strong, coaxing worms from a scrabbled patch of ground. I want to tell them there's a virgin hillside here, teeming with life, but they never look up or question the clouds, the fecundity of soil. In the evening, I stop for them on the boulevard, drunk barflies zigzagging across asphalt, peppering the air with feathers. The young bring up the rear, the blushing scrotums of their wattles swinging like pendulums. I lift a hand to my neck and finger my own creping skin while I absorb their dharma of slowness, savoring, wanderlust. I know that you have seen them too. I signal to you with this forget-me-not. Thank you. Let's see. The next one is Calling in the Allies after Ellery Akers. If you ever get a chance to take a workshop with Ellery Akers, she's in the kind of North Bay area, Mendocino area. She's wonderful. The world is a thrush with a broken wing. I carry it to safety. I call in sage bundles and native drums. Earth's waters are tainted. I wipe their tears on the white skin of birches. I call in the wind to kiss away the sting. I call in the barn owl to chalk the sky with symmetry. I call in grandmother's scorched apron for gathering chestnuts and windfall plums. I call in the World Book Encyclopedia, whose glossy pages filled my mouth with cardinal, cedar waxwing, and hooded oriole. I call in the children planting seeds in Dixie cups, who thrill to pygmy beanstalks sprouting from soil that climb classroom windows. I call in the black bear, a trout in its jaw. I call in the red vixen, slipping through the neighbor's fence. I call in rain's cool cheek, washing us clean. All right. The next one is called Naked Ladies. I wrote this at a California Poets from the School symposium that was in San Juan Bautista. We stayed at a Catholic retreat center, and I got up early one morning and walked the Stations of the Cross. Just thought it was interesting symbolism and very foreign from the religion I grew up with. At dawn, I walked the Stations of the Cross in my tie-dyed dragonfly dress. Nabokov's white moths flit through my head. A pair of does cross the path, veer close. I croon to them and toss them my apple core. As I walk, I meditate, mind filled with the musk of sage and rosemary for remembrance. I come to the stucco rectory, blanketed by naked ladies. The irony makes me laugh. Pink lilies, arabesque in tutus, sweetness titillates my nose, brown stems like legs in 40 stockings. Father Giracelli lives here, the priest who chatted us up at lunch, smiling through his polo shirt disguise, outlining his family tree, 5 generations of Italians traced back to a crook in Genoa. The word sticks in my craw, crook, crooked crock. I think of Jacob with his rough-hewn staff. We're all crooked in some way, bent, broken, neurodivergent, our flaws worn close to the vest are on display. Like Gareth, the poet with 3 strikes, or so he said, young, autistic, transgender, who slammed it at the open mic and stole our tongues, his hands white doves that soared then quavered at his hips. We're all crooked and amen to that. I linger at the frog pond's wild knot, inhale the rasps of ducks and black-tailed kites. I write a letter on the sky. Dear Father, you've got to love the crooked with the straight. Then pause before a makeshift shrine, a white stone effigy of Mary, hands cocooned in prayer. 2 girls in nun's garb flank her, and a small boy with a wooden staff who looks like he's done something bad, like dipping their braids in the inkwell or kicking the dog. Beside him, the omnipresent lamb, Agnus Dei, emblem of innocence. Pink lilies cluster round their feet, waving from cottage cheese containers. I picture the father sequestered in his rooms, wrestling with his private demons, while the panoply of crooked life raps at the gate, wanting in. Thank you. Okay, I have a few more. This next one is a poem about my father called Morning Glory. Oh, by the way, on Naked Ladies, there was no service at this retreat center, and I didn't have pen and paper, so I had to like chant the poem as I was writing it on this walk, which was very difficult because it's a long poem. This next one is Morning Glory. In the faded Polaroid, you stoop to lift a maple sapling from a plastic pot and set it in the yard beside our 50s rancher. Your fingers gentle bush and flower, your eyes trace the parabola of sweet gum's arching crown, its spiky balls and late spring down. Your hands deal flower bulb surprises, amaryllis, tulip, cyclamen, and seeds for a strawberry patch I call my own. While you build the fish pond, I watch your city biceps roll small boulders from the country square to the yard. Admire the way you ponder each one's placement, feng shui before we knew the term. Morning glories and black-eyed Susans scale the fence at my request. Sundays you rise early, float among the mantises and lace wings, in patched pants and a Panama hat, your suits and loafers waiting in the closet for a Monday father to put on. You tinker with the roses, tag each plant, chirp with the cardinal and call and response until mom's voice impels your trance and calls you back to lists and chores. All right. Thank you very much. The next one, last one from this book, and then I'll read just one more if I have time. Ode to a Deer Carcass at Rush Creek. That day we hiked along the slough, calling out the names of birds, blue heron, kite, Canada goose. I never knew Grace would save the best for last. We climbed steep hills, watched open-mouthed as flocks of seabirds, tails in their bills, helixed round the sun, boomeranging back again. A king snake scissored through the dust. Alligator lizards did push-ups on rocks, strutting their six-packs. Already drunk on beauty, I ran my fingers up a dead tree's spine, home to woodpecker generations, BB'd with holes like a shooting range. I never knew Grace was saving the best for last. On our final leg, splayed on a grassy altar, you lay on your side, bleeding like Jesus. I could read the stigmata like a pomegranate slice tattooed on your shank. Twin priests dipped their lusty beaks into your open chalice, stooping to drink your holy wine, the black feathers of their vestments lifting in the light wind. I wanted to stop their feeding long enough to close your eyes. Already I missed your thick hooves clomping over asphalt, your lightning leap over the stone fence. Oh, lucky me! I got to bless your body in its ripest suit of flesh. A life of forage, shut and bound like an ancient tome, where pressed between thick leather covers, Grace had already penned your obituary. Oh, it's always a hard one to read. And the very last one is a dream poem. I write lots of dream poems. What I Learned by Moonlight. I have walked the world for generations. The dead cycle through, pop up in subways and alleys. Sometimes I greet them, escalator angels who ascend as I ride down. Just yesterday I hailed my mother in the park to tell her about the new bakery downtown. I am often lost or late for something. Hummingbirds play ring-a-rosy round my head. Children trust me. They climb into my lap for comfort or stories. Sometimes I'm punished, though I don't know why. Obstacles crowd my path. With great effort I push through them. I have 5 cars, all shoddy but drivable, and I can't find them, yet I know they're parked on nearby streets. All my houses have elegant bones and hidden theaters, but beg for paint. Talismans glitter from bony branches, catching moonlight. I can heal a wound by closing my eyes and holding my breath for 8 seconds. I seldom fall, but drift through space on pillowed currents. I'm flanked by my small tribe, a ragtag band. On the best nights, I fly. Thank you so much for listening.
Oh, thank you so much. Unmute, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to remove the spotlight
Great.
here. Oh, look at that.
Woo, beautiful. Can't wait to get the book.
There you go.
Lyrical, lyrical, lyrical.
So beautiful. Wow.
Bravo. Escalator
Bravo.
Angels. Woo.
Yeah, look for them next time you go on an escalator. They're out there.
There they are.
And if you don't own Finishing Line, it's Finishing School. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Please.
Beautiful works. Beautiful work.